Hi guys, welcome to the episode. I'm taking a bit of a risk. I've looked at the weather forecast and it said that around 4 o'clock in the afternoon it expected the clouds to break up a bit and for sunshine and blue sky to come through. So I've decided to go to the flower fields again and get some nice flower shots with hopefully some blue sky behind them. But it's a bit of a risk because I do see spots of blue sky in the sky, but predominantly it's all grey. So if I take flower shots with grey or white sky behind it, they're pretty much useless for microstock or stock photography purposes. But I'm going to take the risk and hope for the best and hope that the weather forecast is accurate. It's about an hour's drive, so let's get going. Okay, well I've made the hour or so drive to a town called Lisse, and I've struck some luck. First of all, I've come across acres and acres of flowers. I think there's a lot of pink hyacinth flowers, and in behind them, probably half a kilometre or so, is lots of yellow fields. So I think they contain the daffodils that I'm after, but I'll also photograph the hyacinths. The only thing that's against me at the moment is that the sky is still overcast. I do see in the west a few little tiny pockets of blue sky, but over the flowers here at the moment it's grey. Now I've parked a little way off. You probably can see the flowers there. Just going to get out of the car, get my stuff together, and just walk probably a couple of kilometres through these flower fields and just have a look for opportunities of getting some nice shots. So here we go. Well, that's a good sign that the daffodils are out. Unfortunately, I didn't want to trespass in the farmer's field, and that was like the only way you could get to the daffodil fields. So I didn't do that, but the light wasn't very good anyway. I do see some blue sky coming, so I guess in about 20 or 30 minutes or so there'll be some nice blue sky, but it was a bit brutal. There's a freezing wind blowing and I was just really cold, and for a second I just didn't want to be there, and it was crowded as well, so I kind of got out of there. I did take some nice shots with daffodils in the foreground and a little canal in front. And then some hyacinths behind it. I also took some photos of the hyacinth fields, but it's a nice little taste. I mean, I've just come into the Lisse area and that's the first field I've come across, so that's pretty good. I'm just going to keep driving into the tulip field area and see if we can get a nice, what I think would be perfect would be a nice field of daffodils, blue sky, and no people around. So let's see if we can get that. Okay, well, I've driven about 5 minutes and there's a field on the side of the road. I did drive past another big field of daffodils, but there was no access from the road or from the side of the road just to get these close-up shots that I'm after. So I had to drive past those fields. So I'm just parked on the side of the road now and I'm looking at the field, and I'm hoping the clouds are going to part and the weather's going to clear up a bit. So I'm just going to sit in the car and that'll protect me from the wind. And when I see a bit of, dare I say, sunshine or blue sky, then I'll jump out of the car and then I'll go and take these scenic daffodil photos that I've been waiting all year for. Well, it just didn't feel right going into the farmer's field, and the sky is not right either, it's just too overcast. So I'm going to call this field a bust, get back into the car, keep driving and see if the conditions and the fields provide some opportunities. Well, I'm just parked in a side street here. I've been driving around for about an hour, and even though I saw some good daffodil fields, the access to them was gated off so you couldn't get close to the flowers. I did see some people climbing over fences and pulling gates open and slipping through the gaps, but I didn't want to do that, and the sky is still just grey and blah. So once again, my mission to photograph and video the daffodils has not been totally successful, but I'll keep going. I'll just wait for a day where the forecast is 100% clear for sunny skies and with a few clouds. So I just have to be patient. I kind of hoped that the conditions would turn for me today, but even though there were a few patches of blue sky, they quickly disappeared and it's just gone to grey again. So join me for the third attempt when the weather is definitely good and we get some decent daffodil shots. Well, it's a week later and finally the snow and the hailstorms have stopped and there's some sunshine again. The sky is mostly white with patches of blue, so I thought third time lucky, and instead of driving an hour and a half or so north, I'm trying in my local area. I've seen a patch of daffodils, and I'm going to try and get as low as I can and get just the daffodils up close with the sky in the background, and hopefully that sky will be blue. So third time lucky, let's give it a go. So that was my third attempt at photographing or trying to get the perfect shot of tulips, and by perfect shot I mean, in my eyes, a close-up shot of a row of golden tulips with a nice vibrant blue sky behind it, shot from beneath or under. And I don't think it was a success in this case. I'm so desperate now, I'm shooting tulips in the middle of traffic islands, and I went to one traffic island which was covered with like a white kind of tulip, and they looked like they were on their last legs, and the sky behind them was grey, and they were facing the wrong way, and thirdly the wind was blowing, so they were all over the place. So I think I raised my shutter speed to 1,000th of a second at f8 just to get a bit of depth of field as well, and luckily it's so bright that the ISO wasn't higher than 200. So I gave up on those white ones, and then I came back over to these golden tulips, and unlike the flower fields of the Keukenhof, these ones are less packed together, and you just have bunches of 2 or 3 that are facing in the right way, and the combination of them not being packed together, not facing the right way, the wind and the grey sky. I took some photos, and after a bit of adjusting my position, I managed to get some shots at a high enough angle so I could get the sky behind them, but there's also buildings around here, so it was all against me today. That was the third attempt to get the perfect tulip photo. I think I'm going to cut my losses and move on to the next subject. I always believe in keep going and keep going in order to achieve what you want, but sometimes the sunk cost that you're putting into it's just not worth it. And there are also other opportunities to follow. So in this case, I'm going to give up on the tulips. I'm going to give up on the daffodils at this stage and move on to other stock subjects. In about 2 or 3 weeks the tulips will be coming out, so I'll be going back to the flower fields. There'll be opportunities also to get daffodils with those shots. So it's not over yet, but for the time being I'm putting it on hold and looking for other opportunities. Okay guys, I hope this was a bit of fun for you, and keep trying with your stock photography. Don't give up, but also know when it's stopped being fun and it's more like too hard work, then you know maybe you have to change your strategy or tactics. Alright, I'll see you next week guys, all the best. Bye!